Well, none of them can hide from the truth, yeah. Children have to go back to the roots, yeah. None of them can hide from the truth, yeah. Children have to go back to the roots. I'm telling you now, the truth, the truth. Telling you, yeah, the truth, the truth. You have to go back to the roots, the roots. Go to the roots, to the roots. Yeah, man, you know, this is Benjamin out of the Smiling Coast, West Africa, Gambia, representing for the one and only Abu, the big man you don't know, the Soninke warrior, the man that brings the truth, Soninke warrior, the sign of enlightenment, the Soninke warrior, the righteous and the true African. Abu, reveal the truth to them, you know, no matter how them try run from it, because none of them can hide from the truth, yeah. Yes, we have to dig back the roots, yeah. Fire!
Subscribe now.
I remember the days, all those years ago that never fade away. And I remember your face when you hit the ground. I can recall the time and place on a midnight walk through the old streets, trying to turn back the clock to the days of old, back to the days when all the things we knew were made of gold. As the world moves on, time sings a song. In the old neighborhood, as the clock strikes one, the memory lives just as it stood, like a quiet dream.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the AfrobeatsNEWS Report. I'm your host, AfrobeatsNEWS. I want to welcome all of you to another edition of the usual AfrobeatsNEWS Weekend Report. I apologize, I have been busy, so I haven't been consistent, but I'm here for the long run. You see, it's not a popularity contest, it's about bringing the truth, nothing but the truth. So today, where are we going? Buju Banton, a Jamaican musician. I know the blacks will not know who he is, but I'm happy to introduce him. And as you guys know, I have always brought the truth from the African perspective. And I'm not biased at all. So there's a lot of misconception, because see, I have an inside knowledge, information about who the blacks are. And I'm also 100% African. So I know the sensibilities, I understand the language. And this is not a diss to anyone. Some people are in their egos, they get so upset because you know what? I reveal that which the Africans don't know about. We, the Africans, we have been lied to. And we haven't been lied to by only the white man, because we have some people who pretend just because we have the same skin color, they have their problems with the white people, and they try to turn those problems into our problem. But in reality, okay, I get it. African countries are poor. They have issues. But why is that? Why isn't anyone talking about this? This is where my issue is. But then Africans, because myself, I am an African. We have always, there's always been people like me who is curious about these things, because every society, whatever society you go to, even amongst the white people, they have It is the few who are curious, they want to improve the people's mindset. So I happen to be one of those people. This is why a lot of even my haters, they can say, "Oh, I don't like what he's saying," but they cannot accuse me of being a liar. I have no reason to lie, okay? Because my thing is, I want Africans, my people in Africa, to wake up. I know what they are lacking is information. This is right. So today, this topic is about Africa, entirely Africa, because we're going to be speaking about Jamaica, and these Jamaicans are the children of Africa. So this is why I say it's Africa. And we've come to a time in this day and age, 2024, where, you know, people have to understand one another. I'm speaking about communication, but it's no longer about you writing your own script because you believe that the Africans have to follow what you are doing. No, you have been misled. You have to be willing to learn. Because think about it, whatever marker you might be using, have you ever thought about maybe your marker, you're using the white man's marker? You see? So, us in Africa, in West Africa especially, yes, things look very, very disorganized, like we don't have it together. But as a West African, and understanding the sensibility of West Africa, you know, we at some point we are going to get it together. And when we get it together, you know what the difference between us and the other blacks would be? It would be we created we created our own destiny out of nothing, out of dust, out of forest, right? And when that happens, this would unite the black world. And this conversation that we're about to have, some might be like, oh, this is divisive. No, this is a good conversation because this shows our the interconnection we have. But we also have to look at it like maybe, just maybe, things are coming in full circle. Instead of people responding in a negative way, you know, trying to feel bigger than the other person, talking about y'all Africans don't have electricity. Look, I grew up, right, where the electricity was not stable, but I used candles or kerosene lamps to read. So I know plenty of people, many, many people who grew up in a so called first world. They had electricity, everything available, but they can barely read. I can read way better than they could. So the point is, it's not about, you know, the condition you find yourself in. What do you do with it? There is always an advantage. But maybe, just maybe, have you ever thought maybe you're projecting your weakness onto other people? That is a possibility. So many blacks, blacks from America, blacks from Jamaica, have been confused because they don't understand that they had close proximity to the white man. They were directly under the thumb of the white man. Like the white man got his boots on their neck. We get that. The white man even made laws to say we own them. They get to call the white man massa. So I get it that you would have more resentment towards the white man. But you see, for us in West Africa, sure, they colonize, but it's not like directly, it's like indirect rule, right? They worked with some of the chiefs, but some people barely, because if you go to most West African countries, you can tell most of the people cannot speak the colonizers' language. They can't speak the colonizers' language. So, can you really say they are colonized? So, the issues are different. But now, when it comes to people like myself who are aware of the Western world, we read the history according to what it is. I mean, we are operating in the bigger world, but there is a world, there is an African world also. And when you ignore that African world, that's where you make a mistake. So today, we're going to be talking about reggae and Afrobeats. Afrobeats, as you guys know, mainly is from Nigeria, Africa's most populous, you know, country. Nigeria's got over 220 million people. That is the ones they were able to count. Not the one, some of them they couldn't count. They probably are suspicious. They thought they're counting them for some, you know, uh, nefarious issues, right? So my point is, some people are not even aware that they were colonized, right? It was all administrative. So eventually, this is why you see a lot of Africans, right? They would bring their people from the village to the big city because that's where the white administrators were. That's where the jobs were centered around. So it was a big deal to bring them over. So this trade have been going on for a while, where like the white man bought Africans, brought them to Jamaica, the United States, Brazil, and other places. This history did happen, despite some of the Negroes that like to pretend to be Indians, but that's a whole different topic today. So now, when you look at it, it is the old ancient Africans versus the new Africans. Because Africa also have suffered in 1884. Because you see, prior to 1884, there were over 10,000 little, I'm talking sovereign African kingdoms all over Africa. 10,000. So that proves to you that the people are different ethnicities. They are different ethnic groups. But people don't want to positively talk about this and acknowledge this. To accept that these groups have different languages, they're different nations. So they divided themselves up to, I'm talking up to 10, over 10,000 different little kingdoms. In 1884, the Partition of Africa, most of you have probably heard about it. 1884, this was when the Europeans met in Berlin and they pulled out the map of Africa. And look, these people, mind you, they did not sit with the Africans and have any discussion. They don't care about how the Africans divided themselves, like who is who. So they just put out a map and they drew a line. Like they would just draw a line, Germany, draw a line here, Britain, French, and then guess what? Now they're like, that's our territory. So the Africans weren't aware of it. So some of the people, when they became aware, like the chiefs, the colonizers put them in charge In some areas where chiefs did not exist, like amongst the Igbo people in Nigeria, they didn't have a concept of chief or whatever. Everybody's equal. So they created a chief system for them, right? So I'm speaking about nations being forced to come together. So don't you think when they drew those lines, there are some groups who they are the same group of people, but because that line was created and it divided them, you know, like now they are separate nations. So maybe these are problems that many places around Africa have to deal with honestly and get over these things. The reason why I'm saying this, sure, it was the white man that drew these lines. Yes, right? But now that people understand it, is the Africans' focus supposed to be on the white man or how to fix this problem? To me, if you ask me, what I believe and understand is in Africa, people need free movement. You start there. Free movement of people and goods. Why am I saying this? Because these are diverse nations, different groups of people. Just be patient. It's all gonna come full circle. You will understand why I'm taking this route. Free movement of the people. Because in 1884, those lines that were drawn created these nations that you, me, and everyone found ourselves in. Okay? In fact, these places we call countries, Nigeria, like all of our countries, these were created as like a company, like corporations, like they uh, they are created by white people to supply raw materials. So the humans there obviously don't count. They are just, like the Africans are collateral damage. And that's how it was written and that's how it was operated. Like they devalue the African. The white man did that, right? So now we fast forward because prior to 1884, they brought Africans from the West Coast, mainly from Nigeria, that area, Ghana, who were brought as slaves to Jamaica. So it is safe to say it might be the same ethnic group, the same group of people, right? So they have those Africans who were brought into slavery now have a completely different set of problem than the African that was left on the continent. The problem became separate, but the person that caused the problem is still the same for both groups. You have to acknowledge that. So that is identified. But now, if the African that is way in the bush doesn't see the white man, doesn't have anything to do with the white man, but he's or she's dealing with the white man's minions, who do you think that African should focus on? Think about it, right? So the world is holding Africa down. They don't allow Africans to move around the world freely. And also inside of Africa, they don't allow that same movement. So Jamaicans became free, the blacks became free. They sing about freedom, they talk about Africa. But let's be honest, a lot of the times, even these Rastafarians, they speak about Africa in terms of fantasy. Because you see, prior to doing this show, I did lots of research. And when I listened to Buju Banton's his songs, because he said Afrobeats is about fuckery, is uninspiring, because I've been noticing first it was the blacks. The blacks try to steal Afrobeat, saying the Africans copied them. Instead of, all of us coming together, holding each other down. Because right now, we are in the information era. The reason why the black man, the African, is in the position that we are in is because of lack of information. Lack of information. But now information is available. You know, if you as a black American, you were shining in rap, R&B, you're doing working with the white man, that is expected. You're supposed to do that to prove, to show that despite my ancestors walk into this land in shackles as Africans, dehumanized, seen as tool, but today they've overcome within a short period of time to prove that they are human beings and that dignity is transferred onto you. But then you today, that same person, you want to use that against the African who even today in documentation is seen as less human. Let's just be real. A hood person can get their American passport and travel the world. But the Africans in Africa live in the real ghetto. Why do you think so many Africans travel through the back way? They go through the Mediterranean Sea. Because anyone can just come to Africa, but Africans cannot leave and go wherever they want. They can't even go around Africa. I'm saying this to say, if you are in Jamaica, you're speaking about freedom, you're speaking about issues, you have a different issue than African. If you think you are in the hood, at least you got free movement to go to nations where the capital is centered around. But you look at it, everyone got so much to say about Africans. Talking about, look at those, dusty Africans. Oh, why don't they pull themselves by their bootstraps and build their countries? In the meantime, you're walking around in the mall, you know, you're going to these jewelry stores, you're seeing these diamonds, gold, you know, you're walking around sipping on your latte, and where do you think those diamonds, where do you think they come from? Have you ever asked yourself that question? No, because it's uncomfortable. Oh, no, because those Africans have low IQ. We used to hear that it was the white people that accuse us of that. Look, I'm the type, I don't go by what you say, I go by your actions. I go by your actions. So, this conversation would hopefully create an understanding amongst the blacks in the Western Hemisphere, meaning in Jamaica, the Caribbean, the blacks in America, and the Africans. Because everything is coming full circle. Everything will be returned back to Africa, and you should be happy about this. But many are not because they want Africans to be their foot soldiers. They want us, the Africans, to tap dance and be like, yes, sir, massa, oh, massa black people, you overcame slavery. Oh, and you march because it's in the blacks that keep telling us we paved the way. But the blacks never talk about how we held it down in Africa and able to maintain the land for people to be able to come back to the land. So we would have to speak candidly, honestly, to understand that we don't do it only in speech, but in action. In action. So Buju Banton, who is a reggae star, Jamaican, he was very popular when I was growing up. You know, when I was growing up, people, like listen to him. But a lot of black people in the Western world, because this happens to even the blacks, whatever they think is popular with them is popular all over in Africa. Now, yes, there were groups of people. These are like marijuana smokers, wannabe rastas in our neighborhoods who listen to this music. But most of the people, they listen to Congolese music, Kanda Bongo Man, Pepe Kale. The real Africans that are listening, they know what I'm talking about. Manu Dibango, okay? Salif Keita, Alpha Blondy, Lucky Dube. Look, we explore all types of music, all types. But I can assure you, Pepe Kale was way more popular. I'm talking because think about it. In not many people understand the Jamaican language, so it's mostly the ghetto youths, in the English speaking countries. Of course, in my country, in Gambia, yeah, they listen to Buju quite a bit. But I did my research. I listened to the lyrics. He's speaking about their struggle. Pretty much, Buju Banton, the Jamaican guy. He's pretty much he's a gangster. He's like a pookie. So now that I understand how things really are, right? So Buju is sort of like gangster. Like when you listen to his lyrics, he's talking about he's pretty much like Pookie from you know Baltimore, like or New York. They're talking about shootings, talking about their ops, how they are shooting them, and then every now and again talk about love, loving some girl. Oh, they talk about spirituality, Christianity, and then you. So pretty much it's like gangster rap is the same thing that gangster rap talks. They talk about the same thing, but one says it in a different language, differently. So when you come to Africa, there are certain songs reggae because they listen to Bob Marley and others. They speak about Africa, but truly, yes, they do love Africa, right? I have personally met Buju Banton, but you cannot love Africa more than the Africans themselves. Let's just be honest. Let's not play, this game. Oh, we freed the Africans. Like, oh, we love Africa more than the Africans. That is an insult. It's an insult. Like, yes, we do have some sellouts. This is a fact. But don't mistake that for the, you know, hundreds of millions of Africans. So, Buju, yeah, truly, he sold reggae music, brought it to Africa. He went to Ghana, Gambia, Senegal. We're happy. It's okay, right? But again, like I'm saying, I've talked about how partly I grew up in Sierra Leone, partly, right? So when we listened to Sierra Leonean music. There was like popular guy called Abu White, Dr. Olo. The Sierra Leoneans that are watching from years ago, they would know, these musicians that I'm talking about. So we have our own local music. And in this, if you don't understand the language, how can you say these songs are not inspiring or they are inspiring? You see, that's where the problem is. It started with hip hop The blacks first wanted to hijack Afrobeats, you know, that did not work, right? Instead of them saying, yeah, shout out, you know what, Nigeria, you guys are doing it, Fela Kuti started something and you guys are taking it to a higher heights. I didn't see that love. Let's just be real. When Burna Boy came out, he spoke the facts, FBA, the biggest African haters, jumped out on him and made excuse to throw shots. I said, you see, enemies of African progress have spoken, but we will have the conversation. We would bring them on board because what they are seeing. I get it. The blacks in the Western Hemisphere, Jamaica, you know, uh, um, America especially. I'm not saying this to divide people, but I just want people to see the facts here. Because when you look at the Afrobeat artists, people like Burna Boy, very conscious guy. He's not seeing himself as just a Nigerian, but he's seeing himself as an African. He wants to represent the whole of Africa, where eventually there will be free movement in Africa. So for someone to say someone like that is not speaking about what helps, Africans, I mean, to me, that just maybe you just don't want to hear it. But that's why we're here, right? Having this conversation. So when you look at it, the Afrobeats artists are making millions and millions of dollars. They go back to Lagos, Lekki, Banana Island. I mean, this is black owned, black control. All the restaurants, they still make egusi soup there. People eat, you know, uh, 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 people eat their yam with their hand. Okay, this is African control. You don't have to, you know, be like, oh, I'm some big rapper. I gotta gather my people. We go and protest in front of some white steakhouse. Oh, how dare you not allow us in? Nah. So people are seeing it like, because this is the first time in a long time, ever since the African came in contact with the white man, the Atlantic slave trade. The African is finally waking up, right? So this is new for many. Don't get me wrong, there are many blacks who are very happy for Afrobeats. And even Buju here, I'm not saying he's a hater, but I just want to understand. Not like, because, okay, there are many people who just ran straight with the negativity. But I can see how, like, imagine how many broke rappers are in America. Big names, we used to hear their name. They made so much money. We can start with MC Hammer, you know. We go to so many different rappers. Because when they make the money, the white man comes and collect. Look at Davido. Davido, his house is paid cash. He owns mansions in Nigeria. His G-Wagons, his plane, he owns all of it. He doesn't have to worry about the white man's IRS coming after him. Burna Boy, the same thing. And many Africans are now going like, huh, because there are many who have given up, but they're like, huh, when you have money in Africa, you can put it to good use, right? People are seeing this. So during my research, I find out like Burna Boy, this guy is very conscious. And I took the time to listen to Afrobeats, good music, party music. And as you know, even here in the States, the African clubs, as far as the places I've been to, they stay open late. This has always been. But there's never shootings there. you can party with Africans without the danger of shootings. Okay? So, and there are many blacks who are doing collabs. Let me see. Nightingale said, After that was, I think he wanted the Afrobeats artists to acknowledge reggae stars like him as forerunners. He should have said he wanted to collab with them instead. Nightingale, I agree with you. In fact, I'm coming to that. During my research, you know what I found? I found where Burna Boy, that's why I put him on the thumbnail. Burna Boy was giving the shout out to Jamaicans. He was even referring to himself as a Jamaican. And he mentioned a Jamaican artist that he said one day he wants to work with him. So Burna Boy have already extended that. But this is what we have been seeing, even on this online so-called diaspora beef, when people accuse Africans to say, oh, these Africans think they are better because they hold certain positions. No, have you reached out to this African? Oh, you are just projecting. So hopefully this would wake people up. I'm going to bring Buju Banton's interview. He went to the Drink Champ and he said some things about Afrobeats and consensus. The Africans are not happy about it. And I'm noticing a shift. Africans are no longer standing for this disrespect. They've had it. They're like, look, when it was rap and R&B, we supported y'all. We were with you. When it's reggae, we support you guys. Now we got Afrobeats, we are shining, and all you guys have is negative stuff, accusing Africans of being uninspiring. Maybe you don't understand pidgin. But even if it's not that, if it's not somebody who is being biased, when you listen carefully, you listen to Afrobeat songs, come on now, who can have issues with that? Let me see. Salon Boy said, Burna Boy performed in Jamaica last year. He brought Popcan on stage. Exactly. He loves Jamaicans. Like I literally, there's video of him saying he loves Jamaicans. St. James said Alpha Blondie always praised Jamaica and the culture in his music. Unfortunately, he sings in French. Exactly, like the Africans pay homage to rap, the founders of rap, and reggae. They pay homage, they pay respect. But now, what Africans need is, return the same favor. So, like, hey, finally Fela Kuti brought, at one point it wasn't as popular, but now it shifted. Now it is the go-to music. Now all of a sudden, the blacks got so much to say, and now the Jamaicans. Let me show you how Burna Boy is inspiring Africans all over Africa. Let me do my fair usage here. All right, let's go.
Africans all over the world, and this should be a lesson to every African out there. No matter where you are, no matter what you plan to do, you can achieve it. No matter where you're from, because you are a king. Look at me now, Grammy award-winning Burna Boy. Thank you to everyone. My whole family is here. Lamix, don't get no aye. You don't understand? No, you job about one because get no aye. Rich is everyone.
So you guys see that video. Burna Boy came giving inspiration to all Africans. But you see this last part here, where he's speaking Yoruba. You see, The blacks don't like that because they cannot speak the language. Now they want to make it seem like, oh, it's such a negative thing. Because you see, now we, the Africans, we have our representatives in these big platforms where people like Burna Boy, when they win, they speak in English and then they speak in our language. That's right. We want to hear our languages on these big stages. Let me give you more of the African language here. So for all those haters many years ago saying who needs the African language to be spoken in world stage, well, guess what? You have no choice. And we know it. Many people will not say it, but I'm saying it here as a healing process so that the hate that many of you Negroes have towards African success, so you can get it out of your heart. Let's become one. It's been long coming. They wanted to erase our language out of the world platform. But thanks to Burna Boy, it's just like how the Jamaicans come unapologetically on those platforms and they speak their Jamaican patois. Africans love it. They even, imitate it. But now all of a sudden they have a problem with us speaking our Yoruba, our Igbo language. You know, this is what the problem is. If you guys don't know it, I'm here to let you know. And for me, I just want people to get it that this here, you better get used to it because this is the new norm. Africans are here to keep, evolving. So you yourself, you are an African. Why don't you support that? I don't get it. But let's hear more African language. Here we go.
Outsiders want be one. Allah. Thank you very much. Thank you.
That's right. Shout out to Burna Boy. He came, and he spoke as it is. So now let us go to Buju Banton. He did an interview. Guys, I love Buju Banton. I love his music. In fact, I met Buju in person. We sat down, we had conversation, like cool guy, chill, laid back, like when I told him I was Gambian, he was very happy, impressed. We had great conversation. But here's the thing. We live in a new era. I get it. Most people cannot take that. It is not Massa that is pulling the Africans string. They want us to follow Massa's laws. No, we have to come together and, bring those talents and crush Massa's law. But to be mad at Africans, talking about, oh, how dare these Africans think, oh, they're better. Oh, they don't want to serve Massa's plantation. Who the hell do they think they are? Oh, look at how dusty their countries are. At least it's our country. We own it. That's right. And most of our people are waking up. They are becoming conscious and start loving country. And now, Africa being open, I like that it's open to black people all over the world. From America, Jamaica. Guys, look at the positive part of this, right? Now, African culture is going to truly become African culture. Because if like in a generation or so, you start seeing a new type of beat, it would be sort of like hip hop, but this would be coming from black Americans who migrated to Ghana, Gambia, wherever, or some black Jamaican British. Think about this, right? So that international vibe that people have been fighting for would come around. But it's not going to come from jealousy. I get it that this is new, and some people would feel some type of way because you guys want Africans to just, for us to just be there, being shown on TV in front of huts, hungry, so hungry we can't even wave the flies away. I get it. This is entertainment for some people. I get that. Hence, when people are mad at us, they call us the African booty scratchers. I get it. But now when you realize we're no longer, we're transcending the booty scratcher image, most people are not liking this. So we must come together. Let me bring the interview here. Um, let's hear from Buju what he said about Afrobeat. And please, don't be shy, don't hesitate. Leave your views in the comment section on what you're about to hear. Okay? Here we go.
Gives props back to reggae, to dancehall.
Do they?
I thought I heard you say that.
I don't think they do. No, I never said that. I said
Oh, I
they don't give
thought-
fucking props back to dancehall and reggae.
Oh, my bad. I heard it wrong.
Now you really dyslexic.
Yeah. My bad. I thought I heard it the other way around. But then I heard you say, because I heard you say Afrobeats. I thought I heard you say that. The Afrobeats, pay
The
homage.
greatest musician out of Africa was Fela Kuti.
Yeah.
Fela Kuti. Lucky Dube from South Africa. We had Salif Keita. We have Youssou N'Dour. We have Baba Mal. Now, no one wanted to go beyond the pale of what those brothers was doing. I went to Africa in 1991.
But you see, Buju, this is the problem. We even have it with the blacks themselves. They want to be able to put themselves in the driver's seat and decide for us who are the best African, musicians. Guys, did he mention Kanda Bongo Man? No, he did not. Did he mention Alpha Blondie? No, he did not. Did he mention Pepe Kale? No, he did not. Did he mention Manu Dibango? No, he did not. Did he mention Salif Keita? No, he did not. Did he mention Mariam Makeba? No, he did not. I can go on and on and on. Okay? So, when you say Fela Kuti, okay, he did Afrobeats. Now, this new Afrobeat we are seeing is being taken to a different height. And I can tell you there are many, many great musicians in Africa. There's Umu Koita. Have you ever talked about Dr. Olo? Abu White? Never. So there are different genres of music in Africa. Some of these, you don't even know the language. So if you don't know the language, how can you say this is Africa's best? So Afrobeats is original to Africa, despite what some of our haters who want to pretend that they invented everything like to say. But, let's hear Buju's idea of what he thinks is great. Eric B said, to be fair, I think Buju is speaking of the current state of Afrobeats coming out of Africa, not the artists that came 30 years prior. Okay, that's fair enough. Here we go.
Spent like 3 weeks constantly at the universities
In Kenya?
under baobab trees,
In Kenya, that's
educating people from Ghana, all over the continent about reggae music and dancehall. But I was happy when they came to their senses to realize that music is the bridge that's going to connect us. But what I was disappointed in, they didn't try to connect with Jamaica the roots. They connect with everyone else except us.
And you talking about Afro?
But you see, Buju is saying, Afrobeats did not connect with them, the Jamaicans, but they connected with everybody else. And at first, I was like, okay, if this is what Afrobeats they are doing, let me investigate. In fact, that is not the case. Look, let's be real. Afrobeats, right now, as we speak, Afrobeats is intertwined with rap. Afrobeats artists are receiving awards from BET. Black Entertainment TV, which is not owned by the blacks, by the way. Don't let the name fool you. It's owned by Massa. Okay, that's a different topic. So, but the point is, in a way, it's good because Afrobeats, right? They are becoming one and the same with rap music, the positive part of rap. We are seeing this. So, and also they want to connect with Jamaica, the Jamaicans. So maybe Buju probably misspoke my take because, like, guys, think about it. As good as Buju is, what Afrobeat artists do you know? Davido, Wizkid, Burna Boy, all of these people. Are you kidding me? If the offer comes for them to do a collabo with Buju, come on. Yeah, I get it. I think Buju, man, he's doing that jailbird talk. When you stay in prison, sometimes there's prison talk. It does happen. Even when you're free, sometimes you think like you are on the cell block talking about stuff. Like thinking the people are thinking that. Nah, Afrobeats have paid homage to reggae 100%. So we I'm like fact checking this in real life. So here we go.
Beats?
Yes.
Okay, continue. I'm sorry.
So they're connected with everyone else except us. But when we look at what they're doing, their music is not free in Africa. It's fuckery.
You see, this is what I'm talking about. So Buju is now accusing. He said first he said they are not connecting with them, the Jamaicans. But he said when you look at their music, meaning the Africans, is fuckery, and he laughed. I mean, come on. So this is what I'm always talking about. Like people pretend that they are with Africans. They are only with the African that is incapable. But when African skills is being shown in the world stage, I have been noticing a lot of hate being thrown towards Africans. You know? I mean, think about Buju Banton. Africans held him at a high standard. Now I understand why Africans, were pissed off by this statement here. I mean, I get it. Like, yeah, Africans are gonna, big you up, but like Africans are not gonna stand by and allow you to take down, their stars. So, guys, I'm gonna let you guys, listen to more of what Buju is saying here. I mean, guys, can you imagine, African music being struggling, made their way to up, to the world stage now. And this is instead of saying, yeah, we see where Africans are taking this. He should have said, yeah, I see the Africans are finally here. You know, I want to collaborate with them. What do you mean they are not free in Africa? Because you see, people just want Africans for us to be there all dusty. They show clips of African countries with like, stuff on their head, running away from war zones. This is the picture they want about Africans. But to see Africans partying, living the life, people start, getting all weird about that. And this is not from white people because I see plenty of snow bunnies now in Afrobeat videos. And I like that they are very smart. They are introducing snow bunnies in our midst. Okay? So you can party to Afrobeat music. You don't hear, Afrobeat musicians talking about the looting and shooting, the killing and the rampage. What do you see? That's not what they're talking about. Yeah, maybe over there in Jamaica, that's what they're doing. And Buju, he talked about a lot of stuff in his lyrics. Strangest feeling I'm feeling. Oh, Jah love we will always believe in. Though you make me feel. Look, here's the thing. That song is a passionate song, but every young man at 19 can relate to that. Talking about you feeling in bondage. Most young men mentally feel like that, right? So we go to Afrobeats, Burna Boy. He's talking about, love. It's not like they're just, talking about useless things. What, you want them to rap like, the blacks in Chicago talking about killing one another? No. So, I mean, this idea to say you're going to continue seeing Africans being dusty, that's changing. So, here we go.
I didn't know what
The
to say.
music need to free Africa. If I am all the way in Jamaica and my country and my people fight for free your continent with word, sound, and power, and you have the ability now, and all you're singing is fuckery, you don't sing a song to free Africa all now.
So you hear this? So now Buju is trying to say their words is what free Africa. So now the Africans have the voice, and you sing about fuckery. Africans have always had the voice. It is Africans who freed Africa. So this right here is what is making a lot of Africans really upset. So here we go.
Well, need them bringing this to the forefront of your mind, but we desire more from them. You want the money? Go get it. But what's going to be said about you later on and your posterity? You didn't make any impact. So, reggae music still stand predominant. It is still the king's music.
Yes.
So you guys see that, right? Buju is talking down on African music. And he even went on to talk about, doing business with Africans. I'm just surprised by how so many people that say they respect, Africa, they see themselves as Africans. But now that Africans are rising, so many people have so many negative stuff to say about Africans, calling our beloved Afrobeats fuckery. Come on, guys, think about that. But people want to talk about black unity. How can there be black unity? It is Africa that freed Jamaica. Okay? Because you remain as African, when you go by your African roots. So, but here we go.
I can honestly say I wasn't ready. I wasn't ready.
Not the way you set it up. You set it wrong to start with.
I might have heard it wrong. But then I also heard you say, and this is something that I've really, really, really listened to you.
Let me ask you a question.
Okay, yes, please. I'm in.
Tell me one Afrobeat song that can uplift us. Uplift us, take us from... Kenya is suffering. The young men of Kenya are revolting. South Africa is on Sudan, South Sudan, you name it. But which one of these songs can I relate to for a peace of mind to tell me that I'm in the struggle and we are going to be better in the struggle, and even though the struggle is hard, we're going to overcome? Tell me.
See, this is the problem. Sometimes it's like I'm beginning to think Africans are way more advanced than most of this black, so-called black-centered mentality, because they are stuck in like this slavery days. They think the fight is still the same. Nah, Africans are moving on. We want to create, a better world. Africans are trying to make it to space. Africans are not stuck in the past. You see? So, like Salon Boy said, Afridamus, we grew up with Buju in the 90s in Sierra Leone. Exactly. So, like, I mean, like, to try to say, oh, yeah, the Africans, what are they talking about? Many of these songs, is inspiring the Africans, but you don't understand pidgin language. You don't understand it. Guys, I'm going to put the link in the chat. I want you guys to join in. Let us have, candid conversation here, you know. And I like that Buju is talking about this because first it started with the blacks. When the blacks, well, you guys remember when the blacks were trying to hate on Afrobeats, they tried to say, oh, the Africans copied it from us. But if the blacks came from us, how can we be the ones copying the blacks? No, you are just continuing, the lineage. That's just what it is. And we should say the same thing to the, you know, to the Jamaicans. Because I'm seeing that a lot of them, I did not even realize they feel this way. Okay? So this is not about fighting. I want us all to get along. But we have to get along based in truth. Okay? Based in truth. How do you know Afrobeats people are not already collaborating with Kenyans? Like when you go on Twitter, you go on TikTok, Africans are connecting all over. So it's just, I'm beginning to see the Western blacks are getting jealous. They are getting jealous. And there's no need to be jealous. You guys were saying you wanted us to uplift. You don't want us to, live in mud huts. Now that, you know, we are changing our condition, I mean, you blacks are getting upset. We change our music. We brought white girls to the neighborhood. No, no, okay. I'm being told it's mostly African women. But when the blacks were on top, what did the blacks do? They went for the white girls and the light skins and the Latinos. And what did they do? They try to brainwash the rest of us and say, oh, you guys don't understand. They are in fact black. They are just light skinned black. But you see, with us, with our Afro beats, it's totally is black control. This is the first time that everything is real black. And it's making the fake blacks, is shaking them. Let me bring in St. James. St. James, welcome to the Afridamus Report.
Thanks for having me on this beautiful Saturday, man. Appreciate it.
Thank you for calling in. St. James, I mean, I don't know if you've heard, like some of the things I've said here from the beginning, how, like, I've talked about our beautiful music we listen to, like Kanda Bongo Man, Pepe Kale, Alpha Blondie, Salif Keita, to name a few, Tumani Keita, and the blacks in Jamaica and in America, they cannot speak our language. How do they dare, put themselves in the driver's seat to decide for us who is the best? But let's go to Buju Banton. He said Afrobeat sings about fuckery. What do you make of that statement?
Well, I was very surprised about the word fuckery, and when he said it's fuckery, and did you notice everybody started laughing?
Right.
There was not even a pushback, even from the guy that was interviewing him,
Because
right?
because you know what, St. James? That guy Nore is a Puerto Rican.
Absolutely.
So if you look at the attitude, you and I been through New York. We know the attitude there. There's plenty of Puerto Ricans, there's Jamaicans, and the attitude towards Africans. This is what we are seeing in this video.
Was not the best. Let's
It
be
was not the
honest.
best.
Was not the best. So anything about African, we will not have a defender. No, Nori should have told them that. Listen, bro, you can't sit here and say their music is about fuckery because you speak in general.
Right.
You know, so that's not right. As someone that built a platform to bring uh, music, you know, across the world together. So you shouldn't be letting somebody sit on your platform just to say that. You should say, bro, come on, man. You're speaking in general.
But
This is an
St. James,
entire continent, you
St.
know? That's
James,
not right.
St. James, the love
Right,
and appreciation we, the African youth
right.
growing up, showing to even hip hop, reggae, to the
And
Western
much.
blacks,
And
right?
much.
St. James, have you noticed now that we're conquering their territory? Are we getting the same love, St. James? Because
Absolutely.
none of them
Mhm.
have reached back and pulled us. We are
Right.
pulling ourselves by our bootstraps.
hmm
Why? Are you noticing jealousy here?
I am noticing something. So I'm not sure exactly what that is, but I'm noticing something. Like you said, right? We grew up in West Africa, right?
Right.
So I believe for me, uh, I I learned. Okay, I received the Jamaican music first, right,
Yeah.
through Bob Marley, and then so on and so forth, and
Yeah.
then Raga came, and you got you know, all these guys that came after. How you call that? The guy. I forgot the name now. So they did great music, and Africans, you know,
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, we
African,
embrace all that music,
I
right?
mean, you remember Shabba Ranks.
Shabba Ranks,
Shabba, Mr. Loverman,
Shaggy,
Shaggy.
Shaggy.
It wasn't me.
Right. So come on, man. Africans, we rock those music like there was no tomorrow, you know? So for me, I have no problem. I know Africans don't have problem. We embrace everybody's music. Like Black America, when we heard hip hop, you know, we took ownership on that as well, right? On the continent. We were like, yeah, that's good music. You know, we celebrated
But St.
everybody's
James, do
music.
you think, because you see when Burna Boy won the Grammys, he that alone is inspiring the young African youths. Do you think these Western blacks, they are getting upset that they are hearing our various languages being spoken in the world stage now? Because Burna Boy is speaking that good egusi soup language.
Right, right, right. I
I
mean, if
love it.
you if you can't compete with it, you gotta get with it, right?
Hold on, St. James. I
Okay.
want to hear this again.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Wait. Go ahead. Burna.
Yeah. No, yeah. Outsiders want be one. Can no,
Yeah, let's do it here.
Thank you very much.
That's right. That's how we do it.
Well, it's a different flavor, you know. You
Yeah.
gotta,
And I
yeah.
noticed
hmm
something. The black Mortician tribes are the ones embracing Afrobeats the most.
Right, right, right. That is, okay. I mean, if they chose not to embrace it, you know, just don't just disrespect it. You know, if this is not your type of music you would like to listen, just don't listen to it. You know.
Right.
You know, don't sit on platform and just diss the culture. You know, come on, man. You know, you can give your opinion, but just not fuckery. African wouldn't say, you know, these people's music is that.
Right.
Using the F word. Come on now, you can't do that. That's commercials. You're talking about taking money from artists. You know, technically that's what you, because the words mean a lot, right? Word is powerful. When you go to a platform and you tell these people's music F that, you know, somebody may not take a liking to it. Like, okay, why would I have to deal with these people if their music is that? You know? So people will be losing money, and it's not a good look, man. But I know maybe, you know, I don't think I think he misspoke.
You
He
think so?
misspoke,
Okay. Let's
you
bring
know.
in the king. The king, welcome to the Afrodamus report.
Afrodamus report, St. James, everybody in the chat, everybody on the panel, how y'all doing, man? Much respect to Afrodamus report. I know I was in the chat, you know, I have a little humor, but I have much love for this brother right here, Afrodamus, so he knows that, and much respect. But honestly, I'm no longer a black anymore. I'm a black Native American.
You're what?
I'm a black Native American now, Afrodamus. I don't get sensitive about black issues anymore.
You're no longer what? Wait, you became a Blackfoot? What happened?
Man, I just I got brainwashed a little bit. People was trying to tell me that I'm not black. I don't have African ancestry. I'm actually I'm Native American. Really, I'm a Native American. I said okay, and then they disrespecting Black Africans, disrespecting Black Americans, disrespecting, you know, the only thing that matters is I'm a Black Native American. I'm like, are you kidding me? So, DNA doesn't matter. DNA is fake. It doesn't mean nothing. It's all made up. So I had a deep conversation with somebody recently who tried to convert me to become a Black Native American. I'm like, I got 2% of it in me. Yeah, go ahead.
Wait. They want you to become a Native Black American.
Yeah, they say, yeah, I'm a Black Native American. I'm not. My ancestors didn't come from Africa. We were already in America, and all the history of that is all fake, you know. So I guess all my Nigerian.
I think I called somebody to talk to them. Here it is.
Let's talk about
doing
this.
your DNA testing,
Pretendians.
Right? And I'm still waiting for the Pretendians to get their DNA. All my I ain't from Africa people, you have not taken the DNA test. I want to know why. All you Pretendians, why are you not taking the DNA test? If you don't come from Africa, why can't you take the DNA test so we can know that you came from Mexico?
So that's the message for those people. What do you think about what Buju Banton is saying about African favorite music, Afrobeat?
Man, I've been living in Africa over 4 years, West Africa, as a matter of fact. So I love Afrobeats. I love the groove of it. You know, it just makes you feel relaxed. You get emotional with it a little bit, you know, a lot. Even when I'm in America visiting and I hear some Afrobeat music, I'm like, man, you know, it makes me want to come back to Africa, to be honest with you. It made me homesick, you know, motherland homesick, whatever you want to call it. So I feel a little bit, I don't agree. I mean, I think that, you know, if it comes to the point when you know, is you know, I like reggae too. Reggae it gets emotional,
but
and
you
it
see,
has a lot of meaning. Like what did he say exactly?
But Buju Banton is like the gangster version of reggae. Like he's talking about shootings and stuff like that too in it. Like these are real gangsters.
That's almost like. Yeah, that's like gangster rap stuff, you know. And you know, I grew up in a gangster rap era, but I like East Coast hip hop. When they weren't talking, they were more conscious on hip hop, you know. So I really like more conscious type of, you know, music if it comes to reggae, hip hop, whatever, as opposed to gangster stuff. Because gangster, all it does is it's just, it keeps your mind angry. It makes you angry. And so, you know, if he has no respect for Afrobeats, I think he's lost. He's a lost cause, to be honest with you, because like I said, when I hear Afrobeats, it gets me in a good mood. It gets me relaxed, and it's like, you know. And also when I see those Afrobeats artists on TV, on YouTube, you know, it shows parts of Africa that I've never been to, and it kind of exposes me to other things, and you know, and seeing the videos and stuff. So yeah, I think he, you know, he's kind of disrespecting Afrobeats, and he shouldn't. He should respect that. To be honest with you, Afrodamus.
Yeah, let's bring in Dunstan. Dunstan, welcome to the Afrodamus report.
Yay, Afrodamus, how are you, man?
I'm well. Dunstan, what do you think about what, you know, Buju Banton is saying about, you know, Afrobeats?
Well, I can't really believe Buju Banton. You know, it's like, it seems to be angry, you know, frustrated, a bit jealous, because Buju should realize we supported reggae music back in the 90s, man. All the biggest artists, they were the biggest in Africa growing up. You remember the 90s, Afrodamus. So there's a lot of love for reggae music. Well, it was called reggae music, Buju Banton's era. That was what, the 90s. Well, after that, much you got to realize Buju Banton's been to prison. Remember he was caught smuggling drugs into America, and he was locked up for a long time. He only just came out a couple of years ago. So he's a bit behind the times. You understand? He's a bit behind the times. African reggae music and African relationship have moved on. You get all these artists, Jamaican artists going to Africa. The Tanas, the Popcorn. Popcorn was in Gambia last year, and it was like a state visit. The whole country was out after that. I don't know if you saw it. So I don't understand Buju Banton. I don't understand what he's talking about, to be honest. It does sound like he's angry. His time is past, and he's saying this about African music. I don't understand because what's his name? Burna Boy was in Jamaica last year. He had his sold out concerts in the middle of Kingston, Jamaica. He sold out the whole place. So for Buju not to realize that Afrobeat has moved on, or it's inspiring, I don't understand. I don't understand. I don't get it, man. I don't know. Just sounds a bit strange to me. The interview, like it was angry, just generally pissed off with Africans, to be honest. And I don't understand that. Hello?
We can hear you.
Okay. Okay.
Maybe Afrodamus is having issues.
Yeah, I thought it was my microphone.
Yeah.
But anyway, everyone can hear me, yeah?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Sorry, guys. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah. I can hear you now.
Oh, yeah. But yeah, man, that's interesting point. I mean, like, because Buju, I think he's like stuck in the past.
Yeah, definitely, man.
Yeah, because like he's saying that they use their voice to free Africa. Like, okay, is it possible that most Black people in the West, they only care about their effort? Like somebody can just say free Africa, they think that's what it takes. But when you look at our history, it is Africans on the ground. So it's like that did all the work. But the way they speak about it is like it diminishes our heroes' work.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
man. It's bad,
Absolutely.
It's really disgraceful, to be honest. Because you know what the issue I've noticed here, right? I think it's some sort of jealous. I don't know. They didn't want to see the new Africans. People get really like pissed off. They expect to see the poor African child with the flies and the belly and all of that. So when they see these new Africans, listen, yeah, when they see these new Africans on TV, yeah, like the people in Africa, you're doing the TikTok videos, everyone look good, everyone look like, you know what I mean? Like they're healthy. People get upset about that, man. I've noticed that they get upset. They don't understand. I don't understand what's going on, bro. But you know what? Afrobeat should just keep doing their thing, man. They're pushing boundaries. They're breaking records. Man, these people are sold in our stadiums, man, in London, bro, in minutes. You know what I mean? O2 Arena, Wembley Stadium, man. Gone, sold out. Burna Boy, the Wizkid. Man, they're doing big things, man. So Buju should just relax, because at the end of the day, yeah, Jamaican artists are not exactly doing inspirational music. You know what I mean? You got the Ice Spice. What's the name? Spice. You got Spice. Vibes Cartel. They're not singing about inspiration. They're thinking about pum pum and that. You know what I mean?
You know
So
what?
there you go.
You know what my favorite song is?
Which one?
Friday. Today was a good day by Ice Cube.
You see what I mean? You see what I mean, man? So
yeah,
you should relax about it.
Yeah, the like Afrodamus, like you said, right? The trying on being on the front seat when it comes to Africa is the scariest part for us, right? Like you said, oh, our music spread Africa. So before your music, African had no music, right?
Right.
So we had no way of freeing ourselves through our music. So until you showed up and showed us how to free ourselves, it's crazy. Even look at the griots in Mali, right?
Mm-hmm.
The Umu Sangare, Amikoeda, Geneva Sek. Do you know what these people sing about?
Yeah, man.
Do you know?
Yeah.
It's too deep. Look at Tumani Diabate, Ali Farkature.
Yeah.
These guys have been singing for
Fatima
over 30, 40 years.
Well,
You know?
Buju himself was talking about he did this song with Snoop Dogg.
Right.
He's tight with Snoop, like, you know, he said they both were smoking weed. So it's like they have their different connection, right? Him and Snoop, you know, like they did their collab, right? So you look at somebody like Snoop, Snoop wouldn't mind singing with somebody that's an Afrobeats artist.
He did it with Akon.
Yeah, he did it with Akon. Yeah. So
yeah, he did a song with what's his name? What was the guy from D'banj? I think he did a song with D'banj, yeah, when Afrobeats first came out. Snoop.
Okay. I haven't seen it.
Was it Snoop? I think it was. Yeah, he did a song with D'banj. You know,
but when he talks about Africans are not free, what does he mean? Who needs to be freed?
Nah, you should have expand on that. You know, I never understood it. Like how you free someone through their music. You know, like I needed to hear more about that. You know,
yeah, but
so
yeah, but that's what I'm saying.
I still like the dude. You know, I know he's consistent. He love Africa. You know, he love Africa.
Man, yeah, Buju love Africa, man.
Right. So we can't take that part from him. You know, but he said he was in Africa in '91. So I believe he has to travel back to the motherland, man. He said '91.
Yeah.
I don't know if he has been back to the continent.
Yeah, let's hear.
Reggae music.
Hold on, let's hear. See what he's doing. He puts down Afrobeats and promotes reggae, and like it shouldn't be like that. But here we go.
Right.
Listen. A lot of culture vultures out there. We have sat and we have watched reggaeton take it.
I was going there. Hold on. I was going there. Let's finish with Afrobeats and then let's go to
fuck with our music so hard and stolen our culture. I'm not knocking nobody, but you don't give us no respect, motherfuckers.
Right.
And you still expect us to kowtow and act like we take something from you? This is the king's music.
See, I told you, Buju is a gangster.
Your music shall come and it shall go because it has nothing to do with soul. It has nothing to do with building energy. Our music is time marker. You can remember when you went on your first date, when you had your first sex, when you marry your wife, when you go to the first dance.
But how does Buju know other people are not looking at other songs that way?
Time marker, because it's the king's. No, Batty Rider, don't get it twisted.
Okay. So what do you guys think about that? He said their songs are forever, but what? So the African songs, Afrobeats and others, that's not forever?
I gave you a genre, the Griots music and the Mandinka. You know, what is that? You have to be a griot. You have to come from the tribe to be able to sing that.
Part of that class.
Right, to sing that. So where's that music from? He said their music is the king's music.
Right.
So how these people see themselves in Africa? What's their music? How are they going to classify their music? You know, compared to what Buju is talking about. So everybody love their own, right?
Right. Like Stop the Cap said,
right.
The king never makes music, especially for late night hookups. Because like I know, like growing up, there are people who like they're super Muslim, even in Gambia. They hide to listen to that music, like it's not approved.
The youth of Africa uplifted reggae music. When the reggae came to Africa, you know, our fathers, mothers didn't like it. The way, you know, the dreadlocks. Let's be honest, they didn't rock with that. But the youth embraced it, you know, and then it became a thing because we're a little rebellious about it.
Do you know that song by Buju, Driver? The Driver song?
No, I don't remember.
I remember Deposi and Boom Bye Bye. The only one he sing about gays. It was banned, you know. I think it was banned in America. But see, my dad, my feet dead. Yeah, but you know, but Buju is always gonna be a star, you know, in Africans' minds, man. Buju was a hero growing up, man. The Buju, the Shabarangs, you know, the Super Cats, you know, all these people, man. So Buju, I don't understand, but I think it did, you know, his language was a bit too strong to describe music like that. Fuckery.
Well, do you maybe think he's coming from hardcore, old school, and times have changed?
Times have changed. The money has changed as well.
Maybe he's seen the way he pictured the African, because prior to Burna Boy and all this, I mean, there was Akon, like Akon, the first guy
Yeah,
that break it
yeah,
big in the, you know,
yeah,
in the genre, but now it's
yeah.
becoming
But even
normal for Africans to break through there, right? So,
yeah,
so maybe Buju, he's still stuck in 1991,
yeah.
thinking
Is
Africa is
but
still like that.
Buju need to learn how to network now. Maybe people, he has to
yeah.
learn how to
It
network.
needs to
Like
do,
if my man
it
said,
needs to collab.
yeah, I need
I
to
think
collab.
I think if Buju, I
Yeah,
think Buju don't even realize, but any big artist, Afrobeats, would want to collaborate with him. That's a fact.
definitely, definitely, man.
Unless if he's looking to be the only big dog in the in the game. Now that becomes a problem because that can be related to ego.
Yeah, man. But if
Yeah.
all these people know how to fill a stadium, how you gonna be? How you gonna? You can't stand next to a big dog and talk about you're the big dog. These people can fill a stadium by on their own. So what's up?
Yeah, man.
So they're gonna have to
Yeah,
share
man.
the,
Night
you know,
Nightingale
50-50.
said, Afrodamus, it looks like Chidima won the Miss Universe Nigeria. I saw that. In fact, I'm gonna do another show on that. Nigeria versus South Africa. Their
Oh,
cyber
bro, for
war and
damn,
all.
please.
You know.
This
Look,
is this is another diaspora boy in Africa. Yeah.
yeah,
No, don't take us back, man. Let's move forward.
Yeah,
exactly.
yeah, yeah. We gotta leave that alone,
Hold
man.
on, let me read this. Flavors of the continent. Thank you for the super chat, guys. Don't hesitate to hit the super chat. It says Buju forgot it was accounts from Ghana that led them to liberate themselves. The drums, horn, sounds came from West Africa. Where did they get the uh, an ancestor story from? He needs to learn his history.
But
Well,
he did touch on that though,
yes,
Afrodamus.
yes.
Yeah, he did.
No, to be honest, he did not denounce being African. He still does, say he's African 100%. He said he's of Igbo ancestry.
Are you Igbo Yoruba ancestry? You said.
Yes, yeah.
Do you
So
have that part to play or you don't have it?
yeah, I have it. I just gotta look for it here. I
But you
have
know
it.
what would be, after that much, you know what would be good, yeah? If you do a collaboration with Burna Boy. Can you imagine that?
Man, that would be a great one. Let's ask Happy Companion. Happy Companion, what do you think about this new conversations that are taking place in Africans, standing the ground? Because it doesn't have to be like the population back there, but there are people that are aware of
Mhm.
how the networking of the Western world. So, what do you think about the conversation?
Yeah, conversations very interesting. I was listening, and there's a lot of truth in what was said as far as like the origins of the music that we listen to comes from Africa. Even hip hop, the beats, the drums, the way we dance in African Americans. We have a lot of we don't know a lot of the culture here. Unless you live here, but we do have our system to in our ears and our body language and the way we dance and how we love the beats. It came from Africa. So if we Jamaicans can say, oh, reggae this and that, but it stems from Africa, and particularly West Africa, on how we have rhythm and we have flow. You look at other people in the world, they don't have that type of rhythm or flow unless they're from Africa or African diasporans. And so, and to say that reggae is going to overshadow Afrobeats, I don't think so. You even got Justin Bieber. He's doing reggae songs and collaborations with I'm sorry, reggae, not reggae songs, Afrobeats
Afrobeat.
with Afrobeats. He loves Afrobeats. He says it makes him feel good. It makes him a Canadian white guy, and he's into it. So I don't think Afrobeats is going anywhere, like I said. And I think that to put another, to put, and like I said, a lot of the Jamaicans, I have Jamaican ancestry a little bit. I do have it in me, but I say this, but they claim that hey, the Africa's the motherland, and then you have this guy here saying, disrespecting the culture and saying that, as far as the music and saying that it's not, that they're going to overshadow. It's only a time limit on Afrobeats. I totally disagree with that, because even when I'm in the States, I listen to the radio. Guess what? Afrobeats is playing on the radio now too, and I never thought I was going to hear it. I thought Afrobeats was particularly just for Africa. And then when you hear all these collaborations between Africans and African Americans, etc., with the Afrobeats, it's impressive. So that's what I want to tell you. That's my. But yeah.
Right. Let's see here. Dunstan, you were gonna say something?
No, I'll pass. I'll come back in a minute.
The shorts, a very short shorts that the ladies wear, and exposes their cheeks.
Yeah.
Their ass cheeks are exposed. Driver! Don't stop at all. You have to fend You will blacklist.
Yeah. Okay.
By the time I gave them it's a remake from the in time. But the last time I was there was in Stan.
The same
biting his shit. He became instrumental, cracking up. So really and truly record.
Wait, I was trying to show the part where they were asking him.
Yeah, it is not far from where he say he was. He used the word. You would say it's fuckery. It's not far from that. I don't think it's far from that.
Yeah, let me see.
And then recording is all gun culture, which is on their right. Lies that what they have done is show the younger generation are typecast or a kind of mindset that if you don't have a gun, you're not powerful.
So Buju is telling us the culture he came from. That's the gangster culture about guns. So Afrobeats, African music, yes, there might be poverty, but it's not a gun culture where people are shooting one another. So
they have some consciously broadcast this, the work, a labor of love.
Public Enemy or Dead Prez? Shout out to both.
Public Enemy.
Okay, so they ask him either or to pick one. So I want you guys to hear this part about picking, Malcolm X and Marcus Garvey. He's also got something to say about, the blacks in America.
Malcolm X or Marcus Garvey?
Marcus Garvey.
Marcus Garvey.
So he didn't hesitate. They compared Malcolm X to, Marcus Garvey to him. He picked Marcus Garvey right away. So let's hear what he's about to say here about that movement.
You know what I mean?
Go ahead, you going to
They refused to come together with Marcus Garvey to share in the same ideology, and they all tried to railroad him in this blood clot.
Marcus Garvey is Jamaican, correct?
Yeah, they all tried to railroad him. The whole of them tried to railroad him from the NAACP come right through. We know the history and we can't fool it.
So, those of you that don't know Patois, what Buju is saying is, he said he chose Marcus Garvey. He said the blacks refused to come together with Marcus Garvey. They tried to railroad him. People try to hide the history, but they know it. The NAACP that pretended to be a black organization was against Marcus Garvey. So the Rastas, they don't really trust the blacks. Here we go.
The whole black people in America, they are one of the main reasons why we did not come together to be bigger than we was, because they were partisan and infiltrated by outside forces with outside agenda to fight against the soapbox doctrine, as they call it, Marcus. Soapbox doctrine.
Soapbox doctrine.
Yeah.
So let me translate. He said the black world would have been way more powerful, but he said the infiltrators, they backstab, Marcus Garvey. So all they were talking about is black freedom in America, not including the rest of the blacks in the world. So that is not the sentiment of the regular black citizens. This is probably at the top, because I read the documents. He's right about the stuff, but the regular black person in America at the time believed in liberating and connecting with all blacks. Guys on the panel, what do you guys think about what he just said about how Marcus Garvey was backstabbed, and now people want to talk about Pan-Africanism?
For me, right, Alpha this is a big revelation for me. I wasn't even aware of that. You know, that I know, like in life, right, in general, whatever that you have going on, people are gonna hate on you. But the fact that I kept hearing that when this guy came to the states, he was embraced by black folks. To be hearing that, he was backstabbed from the people that
Well,
run the NAACP.
the regular black citizens in
Right,
Harlem embraced him. They
right.
they
But the
gave him money,
but the
but
leadership, the
but the
leadership didn't.
leadership at the top of the ticket. So
Right,
he's saying that Black America have got infiltrated,
right,
and yeah,
right. So it started from what?
from the
Six. Right,
1920s.
right. That's why it still doesn't work, right? That's why when Afrodamus, I always gonna say whatever movement that start from the West,
Yeah,
walking his way through to Africa is not gonna work, man. It has to start on the continent. Nobody cannot fool Africans anymore. I'm not saying we're the best on the continent, but at least we are there. You know, we can control that from there. So it cannot
but
start.
he's talking about the CIA paid agents that infiltrated
Absolutely,
the Black movement. So
it's.
you're saying
Mhm.
because it would be easy. But see, they've used CIA agents in Africa. Remember Lumumba, the people that
But
killed
we can no. I'm talking about now. I'm
Mobutu.
talking about now.
Okay,
I'm talking about now. People are more aware of the like infiltration on the continent, so it will be better to do it there than to start in the western
well,
country.
here
You know,
it was the mulattoes that backstabbed, Marcus Garvey.
right? But you see, Afrodamus, right now on the continent, right? I believe African are more. We are ready to go against some of our people if it comes to that
Right.
than the Western blacks. You
You
know,
think so?
uh, physically, I'm talking about.
Mm.
If we have to get rid of some of our people that are selling us, I believe African will be more ready than the Western blacks. This is my opinion.
Mm.
You know, and
The king. What do you think about that? And what he
Hmm.
said about how like
Hmm.
the CIA infiltrated the Black movement, because we have to be able to separate those who stabbed Marcus Garvey in the back from the
Hmm.
regular citizen, because the regular citizen wanted the idea of
Hmm.
Marcus Garvey. Did you know
Hmm.
about the backstabbing that happened to him and what St. James is saying?
No, I didn't know anything about that. I'm not really a Garveyite or like one of those devout followers of
Really? But what do you think
Garveyism.
about his movement?
I think his movement was understandable, because as far as like us, coming back to the homeland, motherland, and claiming our roots, etc. And because especially during that time, it was very critical because of a lot of things that were going on. I think I knew St. James a little bit. I remember you from 4 years ago, St. James, on the video. I think he was on my live a few times. I can't remember, uh, I feel that he when it comes to him, I'm a supporter of Malcolm X too, and Martin Luther King. But when it comes to Marcus Garvey, I think people are trying to paint him as more like a big hero and etc. A big movement, and you have W.E. Du Bois who did similar things,
But
but he
that's
seems
who
to
he
be that
clashed
person.
with.
Yeah, I don't think anytime there's division in any culture or
Mhm.
people, people are going to capitalize off of that, regardless if it's a CIA or whatever agencies, whatever. People are going to capitalize out of it anyway. It's always in every in even in their own institutions, whatever they have in the States or in Europe. When there's divisions or there's some type of weakness
But
inside
you
the
know what?
organization. Go ahead, sir.
I forgot to ask you this. I mean, you're
Yeah,
in
yeah,
Africa. What do you think
yeah.
about the statement that I made that in Africa,
Hmm.
what is needed
Hmm.
is free movement of people and goods? Do you think I'm correct on that? like, because you're there,
Okay.
like free movement
Yeah.
of people. What do you think about that statement that I made?
I think free movement of people are essential as long as these people are doing things to benefit wherever they're doing. If they free moving and they're doing things to be productive.
Mhm.
If they go to another country, I think it's a good thing. Yeah, and goods to transport goods, because the commerce and everything. If you can transport goods within Africa itself, instead of depending on outsiders, foreign countries outside of Africa, it's a benefit if you can do it from within.
So
Instead of
what do you think about how tight these borders are, like the African borders, how tight they are? Like, what is your take on it? I mean, I know you're security minded.
Yeah.
Many
Yeah.
people are looking at it from
Uh-huh.
African to African, black
Yeah.
to black.
Yeah.
What is your take on how tight the security is?
I think there's a lot of gaps in security in the borders, when it comes to bribery. Every time I watch YouTubers in Africa, for the African diasporans, I mean, they will not search cars or vehicles or people's luggage, etc., as long as they get some money. So there's a lapse in that. Integrity is lacking. In that, if you're in America, which you are in America, and if you work in law enforcement or border security, if you take one red cent as a bribe, you're under investigation. You are going to be terminated. You're going to get your weapon taken away, your credentials, your badge.
Convicted, probably.
Yeah. So the security here is not strong. It's only the money that's strong. If you have the money and you have that connections, then you can do pretty much whatever you want around here. But if you don't have, and people are in need of money, not every country or every border, but what I've seen from Sierra Leone, from Guinea, Sierra Leone, from Benin and Nigeria, and all these, they always have these. Go ahead.
It's cool, like,
Yeah.
like, because instead of people engaging in this cultural wars, we started this blah blah blah. Because in the West, right, Western blacks, UK or America, we have a lot more access to capital. So
Yes.
shouldn't, in my opinion, people should focus on getting that capital and utilizing it to their advantage in Africa. That is not exploiting people. It is, in fact, adding onto it. That's what I want the conversation to be about mostly, instead of who, like, whose music is the better music. You're on the ground. So,
yeah,
like, don't you think people should be encouraged to use their capital? Right? Yes, it's gonna advantage you, but it's going to also elevate other people, because those people would not even, some might look at it as pennies, but they wouldn't have that pennies if you didn't bring it, right?
Exactly.
So it's a give and take. What would be your advice to that?
Advice is, if you come into the Africa from the diaspora, at least have at least $1,000 a month for passive income, like I mentioned a lot, and also if you can come as a collective people, a strong group of people, no matter how small, you can make a difference and you can have a decent life. Just like in Benin is offering free citizenship for African diasporans, in particular African Americans, because the value of the dollar is worth a lot compared to what's going on in the continent in a lot of sense. Rent here is like $200, $250, $300. I mean, that's like really, average compared to the state right now. So if you come in here and you want to build, you can build, but don't exploit the people That's the key to it. Don't exploit the people. Don't become another colonizer. You got to come here, you know, and take care of yourself, of course. But you realize that people aren't making that much, and it's not to put people down because of what they're lacking.
Yeah,
They're not lacking.
but who gets to decide, right? What
Mm-hmm.
the standard of colonizing means? For example, like
Okay.
here in America,
Okay.
like I'm an African, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I'm
Yeah.
accustomed to certain lifestyle.
Yes.
So, and I'm willing to pay to maintain that lifestyle. So,
Yes.
if I'm in a place where a lot of people they can only dream about that lifestyle, like
Mhm.
how can I be accused of, exploiting the people? I'm just being me.
No, you're not exploiting the people. Come exploiting the people is when you take an advantage of them
Right.
and giving them really poor wages, mistreating them, beating them,
Oh,
putting them
okay, I
into
got you.
prostitution. Yeah, that's what I mean. You're not exploiting.
Okay.
You can have a nice, wealthy life here, but treat the people right. Don't try to be like a person that's gonna abuse, child molestation, exploitation, human trafficking, sexual exploitation, things to, using your money to treat people bad, as subhumans, and that's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. People can come over here from the diaspora and get a little arrogant and cocky, but when their money run out, then they tapping out and they're like, "Oh, I gotta go back home now." But but when you were very cocky and arrogant, and you treating the waitresses and the people here like trash, as if they're subhuman, and that you can't because they only make a certain amount of money. You think your money can take you everywhere when it can't. It can only take you can be a subject like sisters here was passing away. Well, not passing. People here were getting. There's one brother here, African diaspora, is missing for several months. Nobody know where he's at. So people have. I mean, you can't just come out here and just try to punk and exploit people
in Gambia.
Yeah, the Gambia. Yeah,
like no one can find where he is.
No, nobody can find where he's at. Somebody sent me something to try to help. A picture of his passport. It said that he's African American. I think he's African American, and he's missing. He's African American, exactly. And and from what I hear from people come out here talking trash about being here, it's not like you're. I'm like I said, it's good and bad in every society. But if you don't like it, if it's that bad, then go. But people come here and
so do you think a lot of people are making efforts to like really blend in with the African community where they are? Because like, for example, like you, I see you are in the Mandinka villages and Fuller villages. I mean, I've also hung out with you in person, like
of course, yeah.
But like it's a lot of people, for example, the efforts that you're making, because it is easy for, let's say, someone like Buju, right, to just go on a tour in Africa, and not understand. Because when I was there, to be honest, the music I heard the most was Afrobeats.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So
me too.
Like the people that you're talking about, even say missing whatsoever, how does that come about? Do you like who creates that type of environment? Because I know in Gambia, when they are familiar with you, you don't have to worry about stuff like that.
Exactly. And that's what it is. When you familiar, if you go to an area and you are kind of like adopted by the area that you're in, that's how I feel when I'm in. No matter where I'm at, if I'm there, if I'm at the shops, if I'm at the market, if I sit with some of the elders, I say hello. The kids always saying, Uncle African. They always, everybody kind of like, are cool. But you have a small packet of people that, hey, they get a little jealous, probably a little bit. But the fact is, you stay humble. If you stay humble and you greet people and you treat them like a human being instead of, instead of like some rich person
you live in like a king though, because You know, like
Yeah.
you in the mansion, you got 2 cars,
Yeah.
you know, like I mean, like I seen it. Like,
Yeah.
hey guys,
Yeah.
don't let this guy fool you. This guy is living it up, okay? Like
Yeah.
this guy,
Yeah.
this guy is living it up. He's got 2 SUVs, all right, and that's why I've never heard him complain about the
Yeah.
rain in Gambia
Yeah.
because he's got 2 SUVs over there.
Yeah.
So, so,
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
what?
Yeah.
Because people talk about, like, for example, even like Buji said, yeah, the Africans
Yeah.
can make the money, but you got to think about it. But in reality, the Africans need the money to change
Yeah.
the condition there. Do you
Yeah.
agree to
Yeah.
that?
Yeah, I agree. They need the money, and hopefully that will come. And like I said, when I'm here on the ground here, when I'm on the ground, I'm humble and I'm approachable, and I'm not, throwing my nose up in the air. I could have a lot of advantages. Of course, I have advantages a lot more than a lot of people have
Well, you
in the
gotta
area.
use it. Here's the thing:
Of course.
you gotta be
Yeah.
like the good doctor, right? Because
Yeah.
even like for me, right, like there were
Yeah.
advantages thrown my way, and I used
Yeah.
them in a positive way. Because
Yes.
the fact of the if the wrong person gets hold of that opportunity,
Hmm.
it's gonna block a lot of things. Like I've got someone wrote to me, said, "Oh yeah, Afrodamus got kicked out of Gambia because he's a bigot. He doesn't have the
No.
land." you know, like
No.
yeah, like but the point is, it's like I say Africa is open, and when I say that, I'm speaking in
Yeah.
terms of how people can transcend things. Because
Mm.
like Buju Banton hasn't been there since he said 91, and he's
Hmm.
speaking in terms of that. I think Burna Boy and a lot of
Hmm.
these people were born around that time. So you talking
Hmm.
to a group of people who weren't even born when you went there. So it's a new type,
Yeah.
it's a new era. So
Yeah.
I think the approach should be different. But
Mhm.
when you said somebody disappeared, this conversation shifted. St. James, what do you think about that? Someone
No,
disappearing in Gambia.
yeah, let me get to that. I have a question for the happy companion. Okay,
Yeah,
so I believe you met a lot of Africans when you were living in the state, right? Or
yeah, yeah.
yeah, you
No
had a lot
Gambians
of
though.
African, right? African
Hmm.
friends. So are they any different than the African that you met on the ground? Like the thought
No, I
process, the
mean,
decision makings, like you know,
oh,
do you see any
you
difference?
know, I see a difference in as far as like trusting and honesty. You
Hmm.
want to be frank with it. A lot of the
Hmm.
Africans in the diaspora, a lot more. They seem to be. They're more honest. I work with them more. It's not. They have what they need. Their needs are granted. They live in comfortably. They're not in the same situation. And so I go to the mosque, in America, and I see Africans from different countries all over. Sometimes we would go to eat lunch, we after prayer and stuff, and then engaging in people, and it's not that, hey, what can I get from this brother, what. Mhm. But when
Oh
I'm
no,
in
sorry.
here, when I'm here, it's like people are like, some of them, not all of them, but some people will try to befriend you because they want to see what they can get from you. And that's the difference. The friendship that I receive mainly, unless my family here, I receive friendship. I mean, they're genuine, more genuine, but a lot of times in the States, they're a lot more genuine when it comes to giving me advice and saying, hey, some people say, hey, be careful when you go there, watch out for this, but everything's good. Oh, you're going to be lucky. You're going back home. And, so they're encouraging me. And that's kind of inspired me to stay focused where I'm at. But yeah, but then you do meet some genuine people here who don't care about my Bob color or Western culture and everything. They're just happy to be able to talk to me, and they say that this brother down to earth. He's not trying to, be all that. He's like, oh, he sit down and eat in our plate with us in the circle, and he, rice and chicken Bennigan and all this kind of stuff. They're like, okay, he's not, So that's what I see. I think I see a lot more honesty in the Africans in America. I see a lot of that. But there are very honest people here too. So it's kind of like an even straw. I mean, it's kind of even, man. It's like if I pick a straw, it's almost even. But I think that the people in the African diaspora and the Africans in African diaspora, they seem to have that they have that like that fight, man. Like, we're gonna achieve things and we're gonna do it. I'm gonna work my ass off because I have people that's depending on me too in Africa that needs me. So I gotta be the best I can be. That's what I see. I don't know if that, St. James, is that?
No, that's an honest response. I respect that. I always like to hear the inputs of Black Americans or Black Brits that live in Africa, because I just maybe your experience can help us, with our people also on the continent, and this has to be a conversation that need to be had, because I'm hearing a lot of, like, I live in America. I can only speak on America. I see a lot of Black American going on the continent. They get disappointed because because of what you just mentioned. People get close to you because they want the money, or they just want to get something out of you. So for us Africans, we can also help out in that area, because when we go back home as well, we have friends and family members that want to take advantage of us. So you're going to have that defense mechanism when you go to Africa. There's a lot of poverty there. If you are shining amongst a group of people, and you are the only one who can spend, a certain amount of money, people is going to have those kind of idea, in their head when it comes to that, So for most African American going to Africa, if they get that, they're trying to learn from that, they will do better on the continent, and African also, like you said, I know you said you did a lot of you work in America in the military, right?
Yes, that's part of it.
You see, when you're talking about free movement, right? You see on the continent, I know you travel a lot. You went from border to border. You see the people, the police, the customs. They don't care. You give them money, they let you go. Like, let's say you're bringing a bomb into that country. You see how easy it's gonna be to just take that to to the next country and then destroy lives. It's easy. All that is because these people are underpaid. They don't care about what they're doing. They don't care about the impact of the decision. They don't care. As long as they can get from you, they will let that happen. In order to change that, we're going to have to uplift the continent of Africa. People have to earn a better wage to make better decisions for the group. Otherwise, we're going to still struggle. It's going to happen. My country is at war, and it. You see why it's at war? Because some people want to lead, some people don't want to be followers. We got to a point where we have to pick the right leader, and it has to happen. We can't pick a president from a country that doesn't know where they're going. It's not going to happen. It's not going to work. You can have election after election in an African country and nothing will change. And this is what the Western world is keep telling Africans. You have to have an election. As an African living in America, I'm telling them this is not the solution. You can have election for 60 years. You can say you are a democracy, but you will never be able to uplift Africa until Africans get together to decide what it's going to be, what direction they needed to go. Without that, it's not going to work.
Hey, happy companion. Hey, how's the rainy season like? Driving, like, what is it like over there?
Bro, my brothers, man. It's like, I've been here, like I said, for over 4 years, and every year the same mud puddles are on the same roads, not being fixed. Nobody cares. They say that your cars will become spoiled. They say spoiled. Don't say ruined here. They use the word spoiled. And so I went the back side of where I live. I went the other way because I had to go somewhere. And I was like, man, even the main road that I'm heading out from my house is just, potholes and mud puddles. And it's like, man, I mean, don't the Akalo gives a heck about what's going on? I mean, are you going to, you the
like,
mayor?
Like in those
Mhm.
neighborhoods, right?
Yeah.
For example, like I remember you
Yeah.
were showing me that big,
Yeah.
huge mansion. The guy you said he built that for,
Yeah.
like he has 2 different wives. Those are like world standard buildings.
Yes.
Like,
Yes. Yes.
I mean,
Yeah.
obviously those people they got money. Have you heard them like, or maybe suggest to them to, maybe put their money together and build the road in their neighborhood, like away from, because
Yeah.
the highway is good, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Highway's good.
yeah, but to build the
Mhm.
connection into the neighborhood, because that
Mhm.
would show the beauty of their mansions is beautiful homes.
Exactly.
Like, do you
Exactly.
like talk to them?
Exactly. Yes. Yes. I talked to a couple of guys, who got, the big houses here and with the money, and they leaving it up to the government to take care of the situation, even though the road right in front of them, when they drive out their parking lot, I mean their house, their gate, it's a big potholes and stuff.
But do
They
you
go
tell
right
them
through it.
that like their
Mhm.
property value is going down? Because those are big,
Yeah,
nice houses.
yeah. I told them if you will have more, your value of your house will be higher. People will come here and invest more and live here in this area. And if they just fix the roads, I mean, it's ridiculous. And especially when it's raining, you can't see how deep the potholes are, and so your car can get submerged in a mess if you don't know the the lay of the law, the lay of the land. The layout. Like the taxi drivers, the gillies, and the people here all the time. They know it. And I actually talked to a Kahlo who's in my area, and what he told me, he was like, I told him, Kahlo. I kind of warmed him up and trying to tell him, hey, what is your job? What do you do? I said, so why is the road so bad here? Can't you talk to your government or people here, the government, the leadership, and tell them you need a certain amount of money to fix the roads? What did he say? He was saying that it's kind of designed. He said basically it's designed. It's like the mechanics are going to get paid when your car breaks down. I said, I mean, that's so you're breaking so you're not fixing these roads. So the mechanics who are under the mango trees fixing stuff out of the, not really fixing it. So they can have some work to do. I was like, man, this is crazy. It's like, it's no disrespect, brothers and sisters, and no disrespect. It's a reality of it. The questions asked. Sometimes it's like living on the
It's an
moon.
honest
Like you have,
conversation. Go ahead, bro.
yeah, you have the damn.
Listen, yes,
Like,
Africans are interesting.
Yeah,
yeah,
it's an
it's like
honest conversation.
on this conversation. It's like you living on the moon with moon craters everywhere, and it takes a. It's not for the faint of heart, everybody. When you come out here and move in certain, not all countries are like this, but there needs to be something in place to fix the infrastructure, the internet, the lights. In my area, the lights were going out every Saturday from Saturday in the 10 in the morning till like 2 or 3 in the morning on Sunday. Every weekend it's just out. So what do you do on Saturday? You can't sit in here. If you have a generator, not everybody can afford generators out here. So you got to go and do something. You can't sit in a hot place, And if you notice, even the internet here, like I said, if you see my lives lately, it's all echoes and disturbances. It's disruptions. It's like
Have you
I
have you
can't
thought
get.
about Starlink?
No, what is that? Send me that, Afrodamus. You can
Starlink,
send it
that's
to me. Text.
the Elon Musk. Like you gotta register it when you're in the States though. So
Okay,
you can
it's
have,
called.
it's like the Starlink satellite. You can have the internet, just running just like you're in the States.
Yeah, you know what? Send me that text, brother. If you can send me the link to that, I appreciate it,
Okay.
Afrodamus. And yeah, yes, because I styling. Okay, now, I'm gonna
Starlink.
consider that Starlink. Okay, Starlink. Okay, no problem.
Let's
I've
bring
been
in. Let's bring in. Let's bring Buana. Oh, go ahead, St. James.
Okay, what do you think that is? It is because of lack of resources. What do you think that is? Like the place not being able to get fixed.
I think the resources are here. I don't want to be on a death list. Hold on, somebody got a sniper me. So I'm just joking with you guys. I don't want to be a missing person out here, but I think that the resources are definitely here. You know, it's like, but the corruption is here, and I'm not talking about. I'm not going to get too deep into that thing, but you know, say for instance, if you have a new estate here, it's called New African Estate, and they have like 500 by 500 meter plot. They building homes, they're doing all this stuff. And when it comes to and they say, okay, now you have some people here contracted to build the roads. Guess what? They're gonna take a lot of that money and put it in their pocket and build the weakest roads they can build. And then a year later, you're gonna have potholes. And who's going to correct those? It's like in America, you can say, oh, there's a pothole. The city of such and such is going to fix that pothole. Just what's a pothole? Okay, we're going to come there and fix it right away. Here, they're not going to do it. So they're going to cut off. They're going to cut the cement, the sand and cement and all this stuff. They're going to take that money that was used for that, and they're going to put pockets. And then they're going to. You think it's nice and all that, it's perfect. And then a year later, or 6 months to a year later, you see like in Bruford, Taft, Bruford, same thing. I mean, nice houses and stuff. You go through the gates. The gates you look at outside, it's nice. Go inside, it's nice. But the roads are screwed up because of that. They don't have home association fees. They don't have. You know, people here, it says, you know, this one block and say everybody chip in $1,000 a month or something like that. And if anything happens, we put in a pot and we can get it fixed. Everybody's thinking about themselves. Once they get to a certain level of finance, they're not concerned about everybody else. They're concerned about eating and taking care of their family every day as opposed to the community. A lot of people here, they walk around poor, like you think they don't have any money. But a lot of people have money. They're living in mansions. They driving beat down cars that's beat up. But then they have a nice compounds with you go in there. They have marble floors and tiles and all this stuff. He's like, what the hell? I thought you was dirt poor. They don't. Seriously, man. Seriously.
Yeah, I've seen. I'm laughing because I've seen people like you're like. Well, this guy is so poor, and then when you go to their home, they got marble, everything. You're like, wait, how did this guy afford all this?
You can find it turning into disgruntled.
Hold on, Juana, you're cracking up.
Okay, let me give me 1 second.
You're echoing.
Give me 1 second. Let me go on the laptop.
Okay, go ahead.
You kind of. Yeah,
no, you're right.
You. So
yeah, you go to their home, they have they have nice home. You're right. I've seen that.
Nice home, nice car in there, and they have like 2 cars. One car that's beat up, you thinking they're just driving around, but then they have a special car that they have when they want to do special things and things. They reserve that car, you know. So you know, and you're like, what the hell? I don't believe this. I can't believe it. You know, and so, but you know, which, yeah, because that's like you said, they don't have the type of jobs like we have the salaries. So if they're doing anything, like there's some guys here who was in Angola for several years, 10 years, 15 years. They was legally having working with diamonds and minerals and stuff, making their wealth even when they was in Sierra Leone. Someone went to Sierra Leone.
Yeah, that's the business. That's the business. My father was in. We were diamond dealers, okay. So I know about. You know, we were in Angola, Sierra Leone. Yeah. I have relatives. So I have people there right now as we speak.
Exactly. So you know, so you have So I know a few people Sierra Leone that got mines in Guinea. I think mines, but definitely Angola. Guinea, they was there in Angola.
Yep. Sierra Leone, Guinea.
Sierra Leone,
you know, like so, Congo.
Congo, So they have the wealth and they know how to get the wealth once they get that connection. And so it's all about the connections and who you know and who's going to get you to that level. And so once they get to that level, hey, they come back here by 1,000 meter plots, 500 by 100 meter plots. They start building on there. People start to, if they're having problems, they come to them and say, hey, you know what? Can I give you a 20 by 20? I need some money. Can I sell you my land? They buy the land, and guess what? Then they sell it for double the price, these guys, or they build on it and rent the property out. And so they basically have a lot of the people with money here. Either they get it from the diaspora, like money from the diaspora area, or they get it internally by passive income that way. By there's some guys who said that, hey, there's people from the Middle East. They come out here and buy diamonds from them that they got from Angola. They get them for like $30,000, $35,000, $40,000, $50,000. And they get from Israel. Israelis come over here and they buy diamonds from the Africans too. And so it's all about that connection, man. And so there's people here who can never get out of that level. They can't get out of that situation that they're in because they don't have that connection. And that connection, they can be educated. They can have everything they want as far as education and even some experience. But if they don't have that connection, they're going to be left outside of the house, man. They're not gonna let them in, So yeah.
You know what? You're 100% correct. Like, people don't understand how the economy works there. There's big money, but you have to have that connection. And you can have all the degrees, but if you don't know,
you pay for play, huh?
Yeah, you're not gonna enter that connection. You're not gonna make that money.
All right.
You're not gonna make it. And even the travel, a lot of brothers and sisters. Okay, I say brothers and sisters. I like to say that, but a lot of people here, they don't even have a national identity card, nevertheless a passport. They walk. I mean, they born Gambians, and they don't even have that. I mean, they don't. It's like they never traveled outside the Gambia. They never traveled and do anything. But the other ones who are smart, not smart, but who got connections.
You mean the Afrobeats?
The Afrobeats, exactly.
just say the Afrobeats.
Yeah, Afrobeats got the connection, man.
Yeah, you should call him. First, are you done, Happy Companion?
Yes, I'm the Happy Companion. Is this
no? Are you done? Yeah, are you done?
Yeah, I'm done. Go ahead.
First, let me say to my. Yeah, don't go. First, let me say to my great brother, Happy Companion, Assalamu alaikum, bro.
Alaikum salam.
Yes. To St. James, comment ça va, mon frère? My good brother from Burkina Faso.
Where you from, bro?
From the Bahamas in the Caribbean. But
okay.
I wanted to ask Afrodamus because I missed the pod when he was giving Buju a roasted. How do you feel about some of his comments, Afrodamus? I really am curious.
I mean, for me, I like Buju. I've met Buju in person.
You met him. You met him.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh yeah, we've like sit down, like hang out for at least 40 minutes, just talking.
Okay.
He's like a skinny, super tall guy.
Yeah.
So for me, I've seen the way a lot of Africans responded, right? Because
they responded badly. They was giving.
I'm taking the consensus, because in the past it is like white people that try to dictate how Africans are feeling, but being an African and understanding how these data are collected, I went to different African countries, different groups. Even though South Africans are beefing with Nigerians, but they united with Nigerians against Buju's comment, which was very interesting because the South Africans have the Amapiano, which they, obviously make good, connection with Afrobeats, which is mainly Nigerians. They make good music together. So I discovered all that, even because this is in the midst of their beef. But they united with the Nigerians on this part. So for me, I wanted to see where Buju is coming from. I like that Buju is very conscious. He hits the spiritual part. He loves Africa. But yeah, good question. I don't honestly know how I feel about what he
Okay.
said. I have no feelings
Yes.
about it. If I'm
Yeah.
being honest.
Okay, okay. Because me personally, I don't know if I don't want to stray from the discussion. I don't know if y'all was talking about the Gambia, if y'all. Anyways, I think that Buju was being hypocritical, Afrodamus. I
Really?
think that he was
How so?
absolutely, because if you listen to some of Buju Banton music, you say you've been a fan.
Hmm.
Some of his lyrics. You ever heard a song called "I Forget Your Body"?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. He
Mhm.
say have to get your body even by
Right.
gunpoint.
I talked
To
about
me,
how he's a gangster. I've talked
yeah, and
about
then
that.
yes, and then he make another song called Driver, where it's the
Driver,
innuendo.
that's right.
Yeah,
We
the
talked about how he
innuendo
made
is him
Driver.
dealing
Yep,
drugs. Yeah,
yep.
so I'm saying to myself, how you could say that Afrobeats music is empty, but you singing empty music too. It's gangster music. You being very hypocritical. Not only that, some of dancehall music is nonsensical too. Why don't you criticize them as well? Before you criticize the Afrobeat artists, why not criticize the dancehall artists
But
like
in your opinion, why do you think he was coming at Afrobeats? Because he tried to say they're not paying homage to reggae, but I did my research. I found out, even like Burna Boy, referring to himself as Jamaican, he paid homage. He wants to collaborate with Jamaicans. He's been to Jamaica. So, like, what
I don't
angle do you think Buju is using? Because
I
Afrobeats, they want to connect with the Caribbean.
no when I Afrodamus, when I hear Afrobeats, I'm hearing soca music in my ears because it
Mhm.
sounds very similar to soca from Trinidad and Tobago. I'm
Right.
hearing some of the music, some, not all, not like how Buju claim that all the music is completely like Jamaican. That's not true. I hear some Jamaican reggae elements, but I also hear some kind of like soca elements to it as well. This whole idea of paying homage, I am curious about Buju Banton, and here's why. Afrodamus, you was in policing before. You was in the
Right.
policing before in America, right?
Mhm.
So explain to me how someone could be convicted of drug smuggling, right? Get 10 years, get deported, and in a matter of less than 10 years is able to come back in the country to perform. Explain that to me. I find it very curious.
Yeah,
So I'm thinking
that's
that
interesting.
yeah, so I'm thinking, what is his agenda, bro? Why are you trying to create this division? I question some of the things, out of his mouth. I just, and it's just a very strange thing for him to say. I think that Buju Banton need to understand that Africa loves reggae music, and as a person who is a statesman or a statesman for reggae music, he should be more diplomatic of the things that he says, in particular to African people. You may not like all the music, but let it develop into your so-called consciousness. Because you mentioned African artists, you mentioned Fela Kuti, you mentioned Lucky Dube, you mentioned a lot of the francophone African artists as well. So why Salif Keita? You mentioned these people. Why don't you allow the young people to develop just like you develop? Because you were singing
That's my point.
Yes, you were singing Gunmans. You were singing ridiculous songs back in the day too. Mr. Nine is talking about guns. It's like you sing about certain things and then you criticize the young men for singing about certain things. It coming off as very hypocritical. I personally believe that. And
Well,
as a
think about the looting and shooting, the killing and the rampage. What do you see? Like, what is he talking
after
about?
that,
That's
after
gangster.
that reggae music,
Huh?
it's tripped me out sometimes when I hear like continental Africans enjoying reggae music. But
Yeah,
because there is a connection. There is a
Right.
connection. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's like
That's
why
right.
would you criticize the brothers in Africa? Give them an opportunity to develop the music just like how you develop the music. I
Do you
think
look
that
at it? Do you look at it also as like let's say a big brother dibble and dabble on many things, and he's coming back telling you, oh, don't take that route because I tried that. You know, just stay pure, just stay true to your art. Maybe it's coming from somebody who's looking down on his little bro, right? He's trying to say, like, let's say he's a big bro looking down on his little bro, telling him, you know, I did all the things that you did and it didn't work out. You know, try to stay true to your art. Maybe he was trying to explain himself that way, and then he just misspoke, like his fuckery and stuff.
yes,
You know,
and St. James,
yeah,
I hear that, you know, because if it's like a older brother speaking to a younger brother, speak to him like a younger brother. Don't call the man music fuckery. Don't say that, because he could tune you out. He could say,
right.
okay, this man thinks my music is fuckery. I
Uh-oh.
shouldn't have to listen to him anymore. Don't say, oh, you're wrong approach. And as a global reggae diplomat, I think he should be more diplomatic in the things that he says. I really
Right.
feel so. Because Africa loves reggae. More so, I would even
10,000%.
think, than even rap music. I think that's a big statement to make. But I think that reggae music is more loved in Africa. Afrodamus, you could correct me if I'm wrong. Reggae music more loved in Africa than rap music.
Right. Absolutely.
Yeah, yeah.
That's a fact.
I mean,
Guys,
that's
let's
that's
do
why we have. Oh, okay.
our closing statements
Okay.
here, you know. And
Mhm.
you know, definitely I want to touch on another topic hopefully tomorrow, you know, because Kamala was asked about blackness. We speak. She didn't want to answer it, but you know, over here
No,
the
she didn't.
Afrodamus report. No, she did not answer it. She ran away from it.
No.
Yeah,
Yep.
so she better. So we're gonna touch on that, and you know, make sure the black masses are waking up. Look, you can you know running and running and running away, but you can't run away from yourself. You can't run away from yourself.
Oh, but that's why I listen to they are singing reggae music. But like I said, I'm going, man. I appreciate the brothers. Afrodamus, thank you for giving me the time. I'm out, brother.
Hey, thanks for coming. All right, man. All right,
Such a
peace.
son of boy.
All right,
I mean,
closing statements, guys.
let me go, man. I mean, I'm happy that we had this kind of conversation. You know, yes, out of what he said, you know, I know it was very unfair to the Africans' music, but to me, you know, I'm looking at the old content of the conversation, and I see somebody that like Africa, love Africa. You want Africans to do, you know, to do better, you know. So I'm not gonna be mad over a word, you know.
I'm not mad. I still
You know,
love Buju.
right,
I
right,
still love Buju, yeah.
right. So you know, as to me, Afrodamus, as long as we have this honest conversation, I'm good, you know, and everybody can learn from, you know, we can learn from one another. That's what I want, right? So we're gonna have our little differences, but as long as we put that aside to have an honest conversation, you know, things are gonna be better. You know, I hate the fact that people are dividing themselves over groups and over my people, my this, my that. You know, when it comes to Africa, you know, you hear everybody saying we from Africa, right? So Mama Africa is waiting for you. Like whatever you can do to uplift Mama Africa, you know, it doesn't have to be money, it doesn't have to be resources, it doesn't have to be anything. Just keep Africa in your prayers, man. Can you just do that? Just the prayers, you know, and let the people try to make it happen. So it's not. Sometimes I look at it like our people in the West, man. Is sometimes, you know, I feel bad. You know, I feel bad. I feel bad. You see Happy Company coming in here and talking about the situation, and I was listening quietly because the same thing that's happening in Gambia is happening in my country. So don't you see that there is a plan to keep the people of Africa the way it is?
Mm-hmm.
It is. It is. But you know, as long as we don't come together, this is not going to change, man. And I appreciate you, and I hope to see you tomorrow, man. We have a long weekend, man. So we're gonna make we're gonna have to
Memorial weekend.
Right. Okay. Thank you very much, man.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. Right.
All right. All right. Happy
All
company.
right.
You got the last word. You know, you
Well, I
over
was
here,
hoping.
we're celebrating the white man's holiday. You know, we ain't into all that African stuff over there. You know.
You know, us black Native Americans, you know, we try to celebrate everybody's stuff sometimes, you know. I'm joking with you. You know what I'm saying? Let me see.
Yeah.
I got myself here. What's going on, man?
What's good? You guys see how he's
Yeah,
living?
well,
That's how he's living,
yeah,
man.
you know,
He's living in the mansion.
I'm doing it, man.
You know, I heard they've been spreading rumors about me. Apparently, Afrodamus got kicked out of Gambia for being a bigot.
Nah, nothing like that happened, man. Nah. And, you know, excuse my, you know, I got a little humor in the chat. It's nothing against you. You know how I like to mess around.
Oh, no, trust me. Like I said, for me, like I enjoy. I want people to express themselves. So nothing is personal.
Okay.
You know, like I want people to be free to have the conversations. And when I set the conversation up, I want people to be able to talk about it, right? So I gotta set the stage. So that's just what it is. Yeah, absolutely.
Exactly. Absolutely.
But yeah, what's your closing statement for the people?
Well, I'd say in closing, like I think that, you know, I see a lot of rosters here in Gambia. They love reggae music too. You know, they love the culture, but at the same time, they love Afrobeats too. And I like Afrobeats. I like both music, but I think maybe that one guy you mentioned, I forgot his name, but I think that he's looking for maybe more attention to see a comparison.
Buju Banton?
Buju Banton, yeah. It seems like he want to have
he want to eat off of the plate.
Exactly. He's like, hey, wait a minute, Afrobeats is taking over. What's going on?
Yeah, I gotta eat. I gotta eat.
That happen?
Hey, Fela Kuti was trying to promote it, man, for years. He never ate like these people are eating. Hey, that's just how life is. You gotta plant the seed. So that's why even black people today going to Africa, you plant the seed. Other black people coming from America eventually would not face the difficulty. They believe in their life. So people gotta do it that way.
Gotta do it, man.
That's how I look at it. You know, like but talking about is the King's music, all that. Man, African people, man, listen to different kind of music. For me, like, I mean, like I'm into music quite a bit. I even took, you know, like a music program in the 13th grade in the white man's college, you know. So you know, so I learned about music, you know, classical music, Beethoven. You know, I didn't, you know, all that African mumbo jumbo jungle music stuff. You know, they're like, hey, no, why teach his black ass about that? He already know. So I'm a music guy, you know, so that African music hits my soul. So whether it's from Jamaica, whether it's from Campton, you know, DC, Puerto Rico, you know, music is music. You know, let's get together, enjoy it. You know, like, look, right now, I mean, like Nigeria, like their economy is not the best economy, but let's allow their Afrobeats people to make money. That's what it's all about, you know, at the end of the day. So talking all that, you know, trash, it comes with it. And all these people that are soft, you know, oh, how dare you talk about it? Oh, what? You don't want me to talk about it? You want me to pretend? Come on. I don't have to pretend. At the end of the day, this is what's going to bring the unity that, you know, a lot of these people talk about. Period.
Yes.
But thank you, Happy Companion.
Thank you, brother.
Good seeing you again. All right, man.
You too, man. Peace.
Guys, that was Happy Companion. And that brings us to the end of today's show. I hope to see you guys in the next one. Until next time, I'm your host, Afrodamus. Be sure to attend the next time. Like and share this you know, conversation. All right? Peace.
like Bob and I like me too. No roof on my top and my babe see-through. Hating on the pen, don't stop, shit ain't gon' feed you. I've been all on my grind, so why I need you? Baby girl love my Bob and I like me too. No roof on my top and my babe see-through. Hating on the pen, don't stop, shit ain't gon' feed you. I've been all on my grind, so why I need you? Big flex, my swole up, double cup and I'm pulled up. Niggas